I'm Lauren Hope, the Executive Director of the Second Service Foundation. Today, we have Reda Hicks, who's the owner of Nexus Consulting, joining us with all of her best tips and tricks for how to create your best pitch.
Hi, my name is Reda Hicks. I am a military spouse, attorney, and serial entrepreneur. I'm based in Houston, Texas. And I'm so pleased to be talking to you about pitching. It's something that I had never done before until I started my own entrepreneurial journey about 3 years ago. And it took me a little while to figure out how to get it right. So, my hope is I can share some of what I've learned so far with you to help you start thinking strategically about how to pitch your business. It's really important to me because pitching is it's a little bit of a buzzword in entrepreneurship, but here's the truth. When you can clearly convey something that's important to you, that's a skill that's translatable for your business, for your organization, and any other passion point that you have that you want to communicate to other people. In my business, I have gotten most of the funding outside of my own pocket through pitch competitions, and I've done, I don't know, dozens of them, won several, and it's a really great way to secure additional resources for your business. It's also a really great way to get used to talking about your business on your feet because that's a really, really important skill that most of us coming to entrepreneurship for the first time don't necessarily already have going in. So, one thing I think is really important to know about pitching your business is it's not a one size fits all proposition. There's no one right way to do it. And every person's pitch is going to sound a little bit different because it needs to be the right pitch for your business. It also needs to be the right pitch for you. So, the first thing that I like to talk about with entrepreneurs who are starting to learn how to pitch is what I like to call the pitch intangibles. These are the things that you can't measure one, two, three, but they are as important as the things that you can measure because they're going to be the things that stick in the listener's mind and help them remember you or not. When I talk about pitch intangibles, in my mind, it's three things. And I would like for you to picture a Venn diagram with three circles. I'm going to show it to you in a second, but just picture in your mind the Venn diagram with three circles. And in the center is the perfect pitch for you. Let me tell you what those three circles are. I like to think of them as the MAC, MAC. And the first one is memorable. A memorable pitch is one that is impactful, it's unique, it stands out. Any of you who are fans of Shark Tank can probably call to mind memorable pitches. Sometimes they have gimmicks, sometimes they're rhyming, sometimes they're singing and dancing. And memorable doesn't have to be those things for you, but it does need to be the case that your pitch stands out and it makes a punch and you've done something unique. But what's really important about memorable is that it has to be balanced against authentic, right? Your pitch has to fit you like your suit, not someone else's. An authentic pitch, it has to be real, it has to be genuine, it has to be something that conveys you're the right person to be working on this challenge that you're trying to solve. And it has to demonstrate that what you're working on is your calling or your passion or something that's important to you. So, authentic, this is important to me. I'm the right person. And when you have memorable and authentic, the third thing that you have to put into your mix of intangibles is compelling. You have to have a pitch that's believable. It has to convey not only that you're solving a real problem, but that yours is a convincing solution. So memorable, authentic, and compelling are three really important key ingredients in your pitch. But if you think about what those three things look like, they're going to look very different on somebody who is working in biotech on a lab solution versus somebody who's trying to sell a new fitness product and needs high energy. And those are going to look very different from something that's enterprise software that needs to go into, tech companies. They're all going to be different, and that's okay. When you start thinking about the pitch intangibles, let me tell you what your goal is. If you are memorable, authentic, and compelling, the person listening to you walks away thinking, I remember this person. This is definitely their thing. And I believe they can solve the problem that they're setting out to solve. That's it. That's the whole goal of your intangibles. I remember this person. This is definitely their thing. And I believe they can solve the problem that they're trying to solve. When people start talking about their businesses, me included, totally guilty myself, the instinct is to try and cram as much information as possible into the shortest time possible. You want to tell people everything. You want to sound smart. You want to sound like you know what you're doing. And that's all great. But sometimes all of that detail and all of that big thought can get in the way of clearly conveying your message. One of my favorite quotes that I think is very relevant to pitching is from Albert Einstein. And what he said was, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Oh, if I don't really understand my business in a granular way, if I can't clearly convey it simply, that means I have more homework to do. So when it's time to start thinking about pitching, I like to make people get super granular. So you're here with me today. Let me tell you what you need to do. Pen, paper. I want you to spend the next 2 minutes, and only 2 minutes because you can't overthink it to start. I want you to spend the next 2 minutes thinking, if I had to convey what I do in only 7 words, a 7-word phrase, what is that 7-word phrase? So stop the video, 2 minutes. What's your 7-word phrase? All right, so you've had a chance to workshop your 7 words. You're feeling pretty good about them. The next step is to start adding detail, which can be a little bit more challenging than it sounds. But let's say that today I'm feeling super generous and I'm going to give you up to 10 more words in order to provide more detail about what your business is. Only 2 minutes again. Don't overthink it. This is a workshopping exercise. But if you had up to 10 more words, what would your phrase be to describe your business? I say up to because if you land at 15, that's okay. You can leave words on the table, but you cannot take more, at least not right now. So pause the video, take 2 minutes, and let's see what you come up with. You've got now a phrase that's up to 17 words long. How did that feel? I would like for you to take that phrase and take it to at least 4 people who love and support you and bounce it off them. They might have ideas for you. They might think that it sounds really great and now they finally understand your business. Either way, that's fantastic. A couple of things to think about with your 17 words and your 7 words. One is if you have co-founders or other members of your team who are in leadership, I recommend doing this exercise individually and then sharing to see how each of you talks about your business. It might not be the same, and that's okay because odds are you have different personalities and each of you needs to sound like the message is your own. But you might also give each other some really good ideas about how to speak clearly about your business. The second thing to think about coming out of these 2 exercises are if your business lends itself to a tagline, you have a 7-word tagline now, or maybe less if you left some words on the table. But repurpose that. It's a simple, easy way to talk about your business. It can be a headline on your website, it can be a headline on LinkedIn, any of those things. With your 17 words, you actually have space in your LinkedIn business description for those 17 words. That's a great place to use it. You can use it on your website. But here's my most favorite use of those 17 words. Teach them to everyone who loves and supports you. Teach them to your spouse, teach them to your friends, teach them to your mentors, the people in the community that want to support you. Let me tell you why. First, because you have now deputized your entire network to talk clearly about your business to the people that you know, even when you're not in the room. But the second and even more fun thing about this is sometimes you will be in the room and you'll have someone who loves you introduce you and put their own spin on your 17 words. And you might pick up things that you like even better than your original words. And that's okay because pitching is an iterative process. You should pick up the good ideas about your business, but you'll also maybe hear some things that were the way you talked about your business that you now want to change a little bit to add clarity. Or maybe you'll be affirmed in the way you talk about your business because somebody else says it a different way and you'll think, oh, that's not quite right. I have it right. Either way, it's a really empowering exercise when other people are talking about your business, especially when you've provided them a framework to do it successfully for you. So take your 7 words, take your 17 words, make sure that your team has all kind of weighed in on the way you talk about your business, but do make it your own and take every opportunity to have somebody else talking about your business in a way that helps you learn more.
Thank you so much for joining us today. You can always find the Second Service Foundation online at www.secondservicefoundation.org. And remember, if you know of any military entrepreneurs, we would love to assist them in building their business through coaching, capital, and resources.